A 3-yard touchdown pass in overtime.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Fan Studios. Here's CDOT.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Happy Red Friday to you and yours. We got a lot to talk about in today's show. Kansas State, it feels like they are fighting for their bowl lives coming up later today against Arizona. We'll touch on that for a little bit. We have maybe the biggest fight in the last decade coming up tomorrow night in Las Vegas between Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. We'll talk about that for a little bit, but for the most part, we are going to be getting you ready for Week 2 action between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. You certainly remember the last time that these two teams played each other. We don't have to get into it. Before we move forward in the show, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. And number three, I need you to remember that the open of the show is brought to you by our friends over at The Other Place with great food, great prices. If you want somewhere to watch the game this weekend, if you want somewhere to watch the fight this weekend, there's not a better place in the city that I would tell you to go than with our friends over at The Other Place. Now, Rob, I might need your help a little bit on the open because I'm familiar with comic book characters, but I might mess something up. And if there's one thing I know, it's fans like yourself that love the comic books, love the movies, love these characters. You get all mad when somebody who doesn't know ball tries to step into that lane. I usually try to give you guys a car or a relationship analogy. You know I love a good basketball analogy, but you know what? I am going to try to step outside my comfort zone. Now, text line, tell me if I'm wrong, but every popular superhero is a part of a team. Batman is in the Justice League. Spider-Man is in the Avengers. There is the Fantastic Four. All of the superheroes that I can think of have other superhero teammates. That sometimes the villain that you are going up against is so strong and so powerful, you need a little bit of help. Don't ever be too prideful to assume that sometimes the task is a little bit too daunting for you on an individual basis and that you are going to need the help of others. Well, I believe that Patrick Mahomes is a superhero. I believe that he is the best quarterback in the National Football League. I don't think last week's game is close if the Chiefs don't have Patrick Mahomes. I saw him will a team that couldn't run the ball, that didn't have their top two pass-catching options, and give them a chance to win that game. The point of all of this is he needs other players to be superheroes too. Batman needs Superman. He needs Aquaman. He needs other people in the Justice League to do their part. Avengers, you need to team up with other Avengers to take on Thanos. I was thinking of this because yesterday we had Elliott Shore-Parks on the show. And if you remember, he said something about the Chiefs' aura. I've moved past that. He said something that stood out to me about how many great players he believes the Chiefs have on their roster. Here's Elliott Shore-Parks from yesterday.
The Chiefs have, in my opinion, 5 great players. They have Trent McDuffie, Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, Patrick Mahomes, and I think Travis Kelce Silver. Oh, Creed Humphrey's the 5th. Creed Humphrey, I would say, is the 5th great player on the roster, and that can be enough to keep them competitive. But if you look at the two teams, the Eagles have far and away the best roster. Like, they have so much more talent than the Chiefs do. I mean, Mahomes would probably kill to play for the Eagles as opposed to dealing with the players he has on the Kansas City roster. So I think there's still a big gap in terms of talent. Now, are there areas where the Chiefs could take advantage of the Eagles? I think the Eagles' interior offensive line right now, because they're dealing with an injury to Landon Dickerson, could be somewhat susceptible. I think Chris Jones, as you well know, is very capable of taking over a game. George Karlaftis, also obviously a great player, and I think both of them on the line combined could give the Eagles some problems. But outside of that, no, I mean, the Chiefs' receivers aren't that great. Their secondary is not that great. The Eagles have outstanding skill players. So I think the Chiefs really just have to hope that Steve Spagnuolo and Andy Reid have an outstanding game plan and that Patrick Mahomes can be Patrick Mahomes.
No one is going to feel bad for the Chiefs that they're a little bit banged up heading into this matchup. I'm not saying it's an excuse. It's a reason. The Chiefs are not at full strength. If you're not going to have your number one wide receiver due to suspension, we'll see what happens with Xavier Worthy. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit on whether or not I think he's going to play in Sunday's matchup. We can all come to the same conclusion that Kansas City is not operating at full capacity in this matchup. Well, if they're going to do this, then you're going to need to team up with other superheroes. You just heard him say, I think the Chiefs have 5 great players on their team. Let's remove Patrick Mahomes. There's no doubt in my mind about his ability that I think Pat will play well in this game. He needs some help from the other superstars. You need Chris Jones to not lose containment on a 3rd and 14 play and to allow a 17-yard run that puts the game on ice. You're a superhero. We're talking about you being a Canton, Ohio kind of guy. We're talking about you being the best player in the league at your position. Talking about a guy who is going to be in the Chiefs Ring of Honor. A guy who is going to be celebrated. One of the premier defensive players in the league. We need you to be a superhero. You were not one of those things last February when these two teams went up against one another. If anything, the lasting memory from Chris Jones from the Super Bowl is him falling over on the ground in disappointment because of a mistake that his team made. You can't think of too many other things or plays or memories that Chris Jones created in the Super Bowl a few months ago. Trent McDuffie, you need this defense to be a lot better in coverage than they were against the Los Angeles Chargers. And it starts with your best corner, your all-pro corner, a guy who is angling to be the highest paid player in the league at his position. You mentioned Creed Humphrey. Maybe you want to throw Trey Smith in this conversation. I lump both of them together. This offensive line needs to play better than they did the last time that they went up against this Philadelphia Eagles team. They couldn't run the ball successfully against Philadelphia back in February. They couldn't give Patrick Mahomes enough time to find his receivers. He was constantly on the run in that matchup. And Travis Kelce, Rob, this is a name that you have mentioned. If Xavier Worthy's not going to play in this, no Rashee Rice, who is somebody that you were looking to step up and make plays in this game? You're looking at your future Hall of Fame, maybe the greatest player ever at his position, Travis Kelce, to come out and play well in this game. Very simply put, you need your stars to be stars. Let's go back to the Super Bowl because I think this is really important. I think Philadelphia has 4 offensive players that you need to worry about. They have Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and then in the passing game, they have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. If you want to throw Dallas Goedert into that conversation, go ahead. No disrespect to him, but I think those other 4 players are just more important, more vital to their success than Dallas Goedert is. 3 of those 4 players scored a touchdown in the last Super Bowl. Philadelphia got superhero performances from their best players. Their best players in the biggest game stepped up and made plays, and that's a major reason on why they are the defending Super Bowl champions. You are asking the Kansas City Chiefs and their superstars. You're asking their right tackle, who's the second highest paid player on the team. You're asking your tight end to make plays. You're asking your corner that's asking to be paid like Derek Stingley, like Patrick Surtain II. You're asking your defensive tackle, who one day is going to be in Canton, Ohio, was one of the greatest players in the history of the National Football League. Those guys got to make plays. It's really that simple. And you didn't get enough of those plays made, whether it was last year in the Super Bowl or whether it was in week 1. This is one of the very few weeks that we are going to talk about the Chiefs as if they are not the better of the 2 teams. They are also not the talented of the 2 teams. That is not to say the Chiefs cannot win this game. They absolutely can win this game. They have the better head coach and they got the better quarterback, and that gives you a fighting chance going up into any game that you are going into. You are one of the few teams that we believe has a true home field advantage that can make the difference in this one. It has not been very often that we have seen the Chiefs as a team play from a desperate place, back up against the wall, not wanting to fall to 0-2. So a lot of things I think are in Kansas City's favor. But to me, it starts with a very simple. You need your most important players. You need your highest paid players. You need your key players to play well. So we're talking about Patrick Mahomes eliminating mistakes. We're talking about Travis Kelce being in the center of what they want to do offensively. We're talking about your offensive line that you have spent a lot of money and a lot of investment in, controlling the line of scrimmage, giving you a run game, giving Patrick Mahomes chances and times to throw down the field. You're talking about your pass rush that you spent big-time money on George Karlaftis a few months ago, big-time money on Chris Jones, controlling the line of scrimmage and getting after the other team's quarterback. Big players make big plays in big-time games. And I know this is week 2 of the NFL season, but you got Tom Brady is here, NFL on Fox is here, First Things First is here. This is a really big game. This is a Super Bowl rematch. These are the perceived 2 best teams in their conference. This is a big game. This is a measuring stick game. You failed your first against the top team in your division. Let's hope you don't fail this test against who people perceive to be the best team in the National Football League. I want to ask you guys this question, just as a gauge of where you guys are at. 913-586-7965. The Chiefs are underdogs in this game for just the second time with Patrick Mahomes as a starter in Arrowhead. Vegas does not think the Chiefs are going to win. The public doesn't feel like the Chiefs are going to win this game. Why or how do you think the Chiefs win this game? I'll give you my answer next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, brought to you by DM Entry Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Entry Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 3-time Super Bowl champion, Patrick Mahomes. Join CDOT every Tuesday at 3:15, exclusively on 96.5 The Fan.
The wait is finally over. Football season is here, and FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff with an offer that you don't want to miss. New customers, you can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, any bet. Bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. Use it how you want. Build your favorite parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style is. Remember, FanDuel has you covered. Be sure to check out FanDuel.com/KFNZ. Use that promo code to download the FanDuel app today and get started. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City, now open. Dine on mouth-watering appetizers, then feast on one of our 6 American Wagyu burgers, including the Bacon Jam Burger and Blazing Burger. Wash it down with your favorite ice-cold beverage, all while watching the game on one of our 45 TVs. Dine in or carry out. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City always hits the spot. Brew Brothers and Brew Brothers Express are now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
So we do a giveaway at GiveMeTheVin.com. Every month we're giving away $25,000 to one lucky person that sells us their car. Karen, you there?
I'm here.
Karen Gardner of Oceanside, California is the latest winner in GiveMeTheVin.com's Big Cash Giveaway.
What did you sell us?
I sold you a 95 Impala.
And what did we pay you for it?
You guys gave me 18.
18 plus 25,000 because you're the winner, Karen.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
You could be next to get a little more, maybe a lot more.
You guys are awesome. Keep it up.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com. Sell us your car.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Buys KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
Here we go.
Count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
This is incredible.
Watch your local NFL game live all season long.
And he's in for a touchdown.
Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed. which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
It's O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Up to $100 in bonus rewards available at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Up to $100 in bonus rewards available at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We know there's a lot that can go on during one night of baseball. Long home runs, epic pitching performances, catches that defy space, time, and gravity.
Climbing the wall. Did he catch it? He did!
But what if you could get all of that summarized in a quick, concise, and at least we think, funny podcast that's under 10 minutes? Check out MLB.com's Morning Lineup. It runs Monday through Friday mornings on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you love listening most.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Juju Smith-Schuster from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I'm asking you guys this question. This is the first time in a while I think you can say that the team that the Chiefs are playing is better than they are. I don't think that's a dispute at this point. You cannot argue that after the Super Bowl. I don't think you can argue that after week one. I don't think you can look at the roster of these two teams and come away with the conclusion that the Chiefs are better than the Eagles. Now, that doesn't mean they can't win the game, but just on paper, I think the Eagles have the advantage in this matchup. I'm asking you guys the question, how do you think the Chiefs win this game? How do you think the game plays itself out? What style are we talking about? To me, the answer is simple. If this game turns into a shootout or a track meet, I don't think the Kansas City has the offensive weapons to potentially win that matchup. Look at the running back advantage that Philadelphia has. Look at the wide receiver advantage. I think that Philadelphia has the better offensive line. If this game is going to be played in the high 20s or 30s, I just don't think that's a game that Kansas City is equipped to win. Not at this stage in the season. They can be at the end of the year. You get back Worthy, you get back Rice, you get back your main pieces, you implement a couple of things into the offense. Maybe you get something from Elijah Mitchell. Brashard Smith could be a different player at the end of the season. You get Jalen Royals back. Like, you can certainly convince me that the Chiefs offense is going to look worlds better than what they looked last Friday against the Los Angeles Chargers. You can't really convince me of that heading into this matchup. If the Chiefs are able to win this game, to me, they win this because they have a top 5 defense in the league. They win this because their defense is the best unit on the field. And I think that that's possible in this matchup. I don't think Philadelphia's defense is the same as it was last year. You don't have Brandon Graham. You have some weaknesses at corner. You are a different defense. Still a very talented defense, but not the same defense that you had last year. If you are looking at Chiefs offense, Eagles offense, same thing on defense, I think there's a chance that the Chiefs defense can play the well out of all 4 of those units. If that's the case, then that's a game that Kansas City wins. But if this game is going to be a 31-27 game, I just don't think that Kansas City has the horses right now to win that game, not against Philadelphia. There are some teams they could win that against. They just don't have the horses to keep up with that team. Not with the team that has the best running back in the National Football League and the best 1-2 at wide receiver. I just don't think they're equipped to win a shootout. They need to win a grinded out 24-17 game. They need to win the turnover battle if they want to win this. They got to get off the field on third down better than they did on Friday. I think that's the game script for a Chiefs win.
I'm not necessarily saying you're wrong, because me and you have disagreed all week on what's the bigger concern, offense or defense. You say the key to winning on Sunday is the Chiefs defense get back to a top 5 unit in the NFL. Are we sure they can get back to that being what that is? Like, if we were to look at the talent on the field, yes, they can. But the one game they played this year, it wasn't like, hey, they got a few bad breaks. Hey, a tip ball went the wrong direction, short field. It wasn't like, hey, a couple bad mistakes put them in a bad spot. The Chiefs defense looked overmatched against the Chargers at times. And while I agree with you, this Eagles defense is not the same Eagles defense of last year. This Eagles offense is largely the same, and I would say is better than the Chargers offense. Are you saying the only way for them to win is to get back that top 5 defensive unit? Can that defense get back to that? The names on the back of their jerseys say yes, but there's nothing I've seen in 2025 on the field that screams that's a top 5 unit in the sport.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think we're talking from a very limited sample size. The reason I think that that's possible is what you have at pass rush. You have Chris Jones on your team. You have George Karlaftis on your team. You have Charles Omenihu on that team. So it's really an argument of chicken or the egg. Are we talking about a defense that's going to get pressure and get after the other team's quarterback and cause disruption? Because the two things we haven't seen them do, I guess, in the last 2 games, again, talking about a very limited sample size, has just been, can you get home with your pass rush? I just refuse to believe that a month ago we were all patting the Chiefs on the back about how smart that George Karlaftis deal is, and Chris Jones is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and now we don't trust their defensive line and don't think they can get after the other team's quarterback and can win those matchups. To me, that's how they win. I know it's not a sexy thing to talk about. It's not the greatest sports talk radio topic in the world, but they got dominated on both sides of the line of scrimmage last year in the Super Bowl. I know all the focus is on Joe Thuney and the changes that you had at left tackle. They didn't get good pressure. They didn't win up front. So with no Landon Dickerson in this matchup, a lot more time for Charles Omenihu to get healthy and be a positive producer on this team. You got to win this game up front. You got to win it with pressure. You got to be willing to win a fist fight in the middle of the street. That's what I think the Chiefs defense needs to turn this into.
I agree with you on that's what this game needs to turn into if the Chiefs are going to win. I just worry, and you're 1,000% correct, it is limited sample size. Like, it is the smallest of sample sizes because it is exactly one football game. That's a very small sample size. But we've been wrong before. We've said things in the offseason like, watch out for X, and it goes the opposite direction we imagine. The prognosticators have been wrong before, and the one game of football I watched, again, I'm admitting small sample size, that pass rush we applauded in June didn't exist against a middle tier, maybe worse offensive line. That secondary that we said, oh, they got dogs. I mean, they can be a real problem for people. They weren't organized. They were lost at times, again, in the one game. The linebacking core, which is the exact same linebacking core from last year. Nick Bolton got a new contract. Drew Twinkle's got a new contract a couple of years ago. Leo Chenal is in line to get a new contract. They couldn't cover tight ends. People you've never heard of at tight end for the Chargers running wide, blanking open. So I get what you're saying. I think the names on the back of the jerseys, their Madden ratings, everything we said in June, July, and August about this defense can be true. But I'm not as confident that if it's a grinded out slugfest, the Chiefs are the superior team, because in the one game where I felt like, oh, the defense will hit the ground running, boy, they did not hit the ground running. And this Eagles offense is better than that Charger offense. Better on the offensive line, better at quarterback, and better at weapon. So we agree on the game script. I just wonder if the game script goes that way, can the Chiefs shine in that sort of environment?
I think another thing with this game, and I think this goes in line with what you're talking about, is the Chiefs have to be much better at getting home than they were in week 1 against Justin Herbert. When Spags did dial up the pressure, it did not get home nearly enough, and the Chargers were able to have great success. So I don't know right now if they have a secondary in which you can kind of gamble and take chances. Or if you gamble and take chances, man, you better be successful and you better get there, because if you are at a mismatch defensively down the field, say what you want about Jalen Hurts, I think he has proven more times than not that he can take advantage of the holes in your secondary and have a really good game. They did not perform very well against Justin Herbert whenever they decided to blitz. We'll see if they can perform a little bit differently on Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me give you some of the receiving odds right now on FanDuel. For whatever reason, they don't have Hollywood Brown up. Is that because we're trying to see what's going to happen with Xavier Worthy, and therefore how you feel about Hollywood Brown is almost directly tied to, is Worthy going to be on the field or not? I can't really think of any other reason why we wouldn't have an over-under on Hollywood Brown. Do you think that's what it is Vegas is trying to figure out if Xavier Worthy is going to play or not?
Yes. There's absolutely no other logical reason as to why they wouldn't be listing that. I think Xavier Worthy's status affects Hollywood Brown's numbers, because if Xavier Worthy plays, I think the over-under in receptions, targets, everything changes for Hollywood Brown. I also don't think Xavier Worthy is playing. I know we can talk about that later, but I do think that's why FanDuel is at least hesitant to put that number up, because you could get pounded if you're wrong about Worthy's availability.
So let me read to you guys the over-unders right now, the numbers that they have currently for totals for the Chiefs. They have Travis Kelce. They have him at 42.5. They have Juju Smith-Schuster on 33.5. They have Taekquon Thornton on 20.5. And then if you go to the running backs, Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, both under 10. Isaiah Pacheco is at 8.5 receiving yards. Kareem Hunt is at 9.5 receiving yards. Again, Hollywood Brown is not available, at least not on FanDuel. Rob, if I gave you a free $25 bonus bet and I tell you had to take it on one player's over on the Chiefs from a receiving standpoint, I'll get you the rushing totals here coming up in a bit. I'm assuming they are not gaudy numbers when it comes to the Chiefs running the football. You got to take one Chiefs player to hit their over. Who would you take?
I've been saying it all week. Travis Kelce, 42.5? 42.5 for Travis Kelce. We have talked all week. We've done different topics about it. We've had different angles, different thoughts. Hey, how are the Chiefs offense going to adapt to no Xavier Worthy and no Rashee Rice? And I have been screaming from the mountaintops, it falls on one person. It falls on Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce spent an entire summer doing two things. One, getting engaged with the most famous person on earth. Two, telling everyone that would listen that the previous season, he didn't like the way he played. He didn't like his performance. He didn't feel like he was as locked in as he should be. He didn't come into the season with the same, mental and physical, makeup that he usually does. And he was going to fix that. He was going to get back to old Travis. It was everything on his podcast. Everywhere was Travis is going to be Travis again. Oh, man. We have people on text line saying he'd be a 1,000-yard guy again. If his over-under is 42.5, if he's going to be the guy he talked about all offseason, he smashes that number. He breaks through it with absolutely no problem, because I've seen him, even as the singular threat against other teams with the Chiefs, break that number no problem. Last postseason against the Texans, he was great. He was basically one of the only threats on the field. So Travis Kelce, free bet over 42.5, that is what I'll play. And I'll go a step further. If he's under 42.5, I don't know a game script where the Chiefs win, because Hollywood Brown ain't getting 16 targets again. Juju Smith-Schuster ain't getting the fountain of youth to get great again. It falls on 87, so free bet over 42.5 for Travis Kelce.
I'm going to give this commentary with the basis that they are not going to have Xavier Worthy. That obviously can change things between now and then. I just want to give you the caveat of where my take is coming from. I think they pretty clearly kind of designated Taekquon Thornton as their down-the-field option with all of the changes. I mean, they threw 3 deep balls to him, and they connected on one of them last week. If you're going to give me the $25 bonus bet, I'm taking on Taekquon Thornton over 20.5 yards. I'm with you. I don't think that Hollywood Brown is going to be a guy that gets 16 targets in this game. I do think they're going to divvy it up a lot better than they did. You guys have heard me this week. I've been really pounding the ball to get Noah Gray more involved in the offense. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me why, given how down they are in the wide receiver room, why don't you emphasize what you do have? And what they do have is a bunch of tight ends. What's the point of having 4 of these tight ends? A, you don't run the ball enough to really justify that they're blocking tight ends, and you're not using them in pass-catching situations. So I want to see them lean in more to their tight end numbers. Noah Gray's not available, at least not on FanDuel. Maybe he is on another gambling app, I'm going to go with Taekquon Thornton. I think Taekquon Thornton can be a factor in this game. I think he can do sort of what Juju did last week. 5 catches, 55 yards, somewhere in that ballpark, somewhere in that range. So I would put my money on Taekquon Thornton if you asked me to put it on somebody. Let me play a couple of pieces of audio for you guys and get you a little bit of a national perspective. Here is both the offensive and defensive side of it is Mina Kimes of ESPN. She is in the kingdom. She is worried about the Chiefs' defense.
I'm going to talk about the Chiefs, but not the offense, because I think the offense will be better when they get Rice back in particular, and the offensive line is young and they're going to play together. The defense was really concerning to me week 1, and I kind of think that maybe got slept on a little bit. With Justin Reed departing, there's this feeling it's the Chiefs, Steve Spagnuolo. They can insert any young cornerbacks back there and safeties, and everything's going to be fine. It did not look fine week 1 against the Chargers. Not enough pass rush, so they had to blitz, but then they couldn't cover behind the blitz. And you really worry this week. You're going up against the Eagles, and I just don't know if they have the horses on the back end to compete the way that they have the last few years.
That was Mina Kimes of ESPN talking about the Chiefs' defense. One thing that I'm not really used to, at least when it's hearing commentary about the Chiefs, is not really feel like they have enough of something. Like, I feel that way on offense, man. I think all of us feel that way on offense, but that's largely due to injury or suspension. Now, some of it is just they didn't really try hard enough at running back. That's another topic for another day. But then to hear her say that she doesn't think that they have the horses on the back half of the secondary. One thing that I would say that Chiefs fans hold very, very dearly is, well, we don't need to spend money on corner because they always find diamonds in the rough, because Spags can scheme up pressure, because Spags can get after the other team's quarterback. That's kind of what they need to do in this one. Like, this has to be an X's and O's thing. I don't think they have the Jimmies and the Joes not up against Philadelphia's pass-catching options. I just don't look at who they have, look at who the Chiefs have. Like, this needs to be Spags dialing up, being creative, knowing when to attack, knowing when to kind of fall back a little bit. Like, that has to be the plan on defense going up against Philadelphia. It just has to be. But it is very odd. Like, you usually don't hear the commentary around the Chiefs says, oh, they don't have good enough players. People are saying that about the offense, and they're saying it about the defense. Here is Dan Orlowski. A lot of you are frustrated with Matt Nagy. It sounds like Dan Orlowski has some questions about the Chiefs' offense.
Unless this offense changes schematically, it cannot get back to the Super Bowl. It just doesn't do anything that the good offenses in this league do right now. If we took Patrick out and Patrick made 3 or 4 plays and throws that you're like, oh my goodness, but that's it right now. And we've harped on this for years. One, they don't go underneath center and throw the football down the field enough. And when they do try and do it, they're unsuccessful doing it. Now, Andy Reid, one of the greatest coaches of all time, Matt Nagy, a very bright offensive mind. If there's 2 coaches who can fix it, it's them. And so I'm not telling everybody right now that this is the concern. I'm telling everybody in Kansas City and your fans, if this doesn't change, you will look back in November and December and be like, why aren't we winning? And I'll tell you, this will be the reason why, okay? Like, this is the foreshadowing. If this doesn't change, if you don't go downfield more, if you don't get under center more, if you don't build play action more, if when you do, you don't hit those shots downfield, this will be the reason why. And we can come back to this episode of NFL Live and realize what the problem was.
That was Dan Orlowski talking about the Chiefs' offense. I mean, you guys know my philosophy on this. I don't think the Chiefs just have nearly enough firepower. I understand the frustrations with Matt Nagy, and all of a sudden, I remember so much frustration and disappointment with Eric Bieniemy, and it was kind of time to go. And now we long for the days when Eric Bieniemy was in charge. The Chiefs just had a much better offense when he was there. Like, they just had better skill position players. They had prime Tyreek Hill and prime Travis Kelce. A lot of offensive coordinators are going to look good if you're drawing up plays with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill back in 2018. That's just not the offense that they currently have in 2025. But I do understand some of the things that he is saying about the scheme and what they need to do in terms of just putting more pressure on defenses. I thought it was pretty noticeable last week in week 1 how on a couple of their touchdown drives, I mean, it is just death by 1,000 cuts. The Chiefs got to put together 13, 14 play drives, which then you commit a penalty, then you have a missed block, you have a missed assignment. It just makes it really, really hard to score that way against really good teams and really good defenses. And I thought that was one of the problems for the Chiefs last week. All right, Rob, since you are a running back expert, you are a running back guru, have you seen the Chiefs running back numbers?
I have not seen the numbers. I imagine they're startlingly low.
Okay.
Just a hunch. Just plain a hunch.
What do you think Isaiah Pacheco's over-under and rush total is?
So this is carries.
No, I'm talking yardage.
Okay.
From a yardage perspective, what do you think that FanDuel has Isaiah Pacheco at right now, over under how many yards?
48.5.
33.5 for
my.
Isaiah Pacheco.
Oh, my.
That's RB1. There's no team in the league in which their RB1's over-under total is that low. 33.5? That's not, to me, a indictment on how good you think Philadelphia's defense is. That isn't a, we don't think that he's getting the football. 33.5? All right, now based with this information, now armed with this info, what do you think they have his over-under on for carries?
Okay.
So they have his over-under at 33.5 yards. If you were wondering, they have Kareem Hunt's at 22.5. So Vegas thinks if you add up the rushing numbers from Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, they think it's around 56 yards rushing from those two. I'm here to tell you right now, if the Chiefs get 56 yards combined from Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, you can start heading toward the exit around the middle of the third quarter. The Chiefs are not winning that football game. You're not winning the football game if you get nothing from your running game. You don't got to run it for 150 yards. You can't get nothing from them two. 56 yards between both of them is getting pretty clearly next to nothing. What do you think they have Isaiah Pacheco's carry total at? Over under how many carries?
8.5?
7.5.
I was thinking 4 yards per carry, just ballparking it. Like
7.5 carries for RB1.
Vegas saw the same first game me and you did. That's what that told me.
Isaiah Pacheco has 8 carries in the last 2 Chiefs games. 8 total. Now, I know some of you guys have your issues with Pacheco. He doesn't have the same vision as Kareem Hunt. Maybe he's not explosive. I get it. This is not sustainable for any offense in the league for you to have such low expectations on what RB1 can do. I know we have this belief that running back isn't nearly as important and that it's a dime a dozen and that anybody can do it and you can plug and play at. Well, then you need to plug and play somebody in that can give you something in the run game. The Chiefs probably need in this game, they need 14 carries for 71 yards. That's what you need. You need 14 carries for 71 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that's not going to win you a fantasy league, but it keeps the defense honest. A major reason of why the Chiefs offense has stalled in their last 2 games is either they don't want to run or they can't run the football. Because to give your number 1 running back 8 carries in your last 2 games, you're not trying to establish the run. You can't get anything going on so few carries. What are you hoping that you break the first 1 or 2, and then if you don't, you've given up on the run? You're going to have to establish the line of scrimmage on the offensive side of the ball. You have to get Isaiah Pacheco involved in some capacity. You got to use Kareem Hunt on a 3rd and 3 and hope that he can extend the drive and move the chains. They have to be in the center of whatever your game plan is. You got to have some level of commitment in trying to get them the football.
So I looked this up because someone in the text line asked this. Hey, what are some other bad teams' numbers to the running game? Let's compare for fun. So I've looked it up. Now, I don't know why, but FanDuel has not listed any running back for the Browns on Sunday. They don't have any over-under for Browns running backs. Is that because Quinshon Jenkins might be bad? I don't know why they have no Browns. But name some other bad teams in the league, and I promise their running back 1 number is better than Isaiah Pacheco. All of them. Just for comparison's sake, Trey Benson, who is running back 2 in Arizona. He's a backup to James Conner. Fantasy sports owners probably know him. They have him at 36.5 for an over-under. They have Lamar Jackson at quarterback at 46.5 for an over-under. Tyrone Tracy for the Giants. That team stinks. 54.5. So not only are those numbers extremely startling, low, and really damning about the Chiefs offense, but when you put them in perspective of how Vegas views the rest of the league and what their running back 1 is going to do, they think the Chiefs just don't have a running back 1 because 33.5 is less than their thing Lamar Jackson will do on Sunday. And I know he's running quarterback, Running quarterbacks usually don't run for 60-plus yards with running backs do. It's crazy how low those numbers are.
Yeah, the Chiefs just have to establish the run. They have to run the football. Like, it might be redundant. You might be tired. You might consider it to be a broken record. I'm telling you, if the Chiefs' offensive plan is between Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, they get 9 carries, and they want Pat to throw it 42 times to Juju Smith-Schuster, Taekquon Thornton, and Jason Brownlee. I don't know how you think that is a winning game plan going up against the opponent that they are going up against. Coming up in the 3 o'clock hour, we are going to be joined by Nate Taylor of ESPN. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with CDOT. Tune in as Nate Taylor of ESPN joins the show in studio every Friday at 4 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth. Why not start today?
Hey, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here telling you about our friends over at The Other Place, and they've got great game day specials available for every Chiefs game. So if you're looking for a pizza, they got a 14-inch two-topping pizza for just $12. 8 wings and a basket of tots, $12. If you want a beer, they got $4 domestic cups. Also for Red Friday, today is Red Friday, they got $6 select appetizers. Also, you can get a Busch Light Tall Boy. You know Rob is going crazy for it. So if you're looking for a one-of-a-kind game day experience, you're also looking at the next best thing to being at the stadium, and you want a raucous environment to watch the Chiefs on Sunday. Let me tell you about our friends over at The Other Place with 5 area metro locations.
DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State. New Missouri customers can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. And when we go live, place just a $5 bet to unlock $300 in bonus bets. Starting November 17th, you can create your DraftKings Sportsbook account in Missouri and get ready for launch day on December 1st. DraftKings Sportsbook brings you everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Hey, almost Andy Reid here. It's been an honor to give back to the community that's embraced me being almost your head coach. Thanks for letting me be part of your team. Renner Garage Door is a teammate of mine that also values the community that they served for decades, always giving back and delivering wins with top brands like Geldon, Amar, and LiftMaster. Need a repair or replacement? Get a free estimate today. Forward and back.
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R.
Your home is more than just another listing. It's your life's work. Dawn and the Sharp Homes team treat every property as their own, employing innovative marketing strategies and providing personal attention that transforms for sale signs into sold celebrations. The Sharp Homes team can also give you options. Do you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold? Then contact the only agent I would trust to sell my home. Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. Google Sharp Homes team. That's Sharp Homes team today.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business. so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. Y'all gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vid. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
This afternoon, expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 94.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, I need you guys' help with this topic. 913-586-7965. Probably about a month ago, I asked you guys to rank the teams in the order in which you don't like. Cincinnati, Buffalo, Philadelphia. You guys remember this exercise. At least some of you do. I'm going to flip the question just a bit. How would you guys rank the people in the National Football League that you don't like? Because it is my hypothesis. I think that Nick Sirianni is number one. I think if you go around and you ask 100 Chiefs fans, 1,000 Chiefs fans, you say it has to be an active player or coach who is your least favorite person in the National Football League, I think Nick Sirianni would be number one on you guys' list. This is how I perceive it to be. So again, tell me if I'm wrong. 913-586-7965. I think Nick Sirianni is one. Joe Burrow is two. Jamar Chase is three. You guys don't like Jamar Chase because he won't even say Patrick Mahomes' name. Like, he kind of goes out of his way, I think, to poke at you guys. I mean, I kind of get it. It makes sense to me why you don't like him. How would you guys rank it? Just your least favorite people in the National Football League. I think Nick Sirianni's number one. I get why you guys don't like him. That image of him walking off the field and yelling at Chiefs fans after a regular season game is just corny. I think he's the only coach in the league that would do that. I don't think there's a single... Could you see Harbaugh, either one of them, walking off the field arguing with fans? That's silly. No, I can't see it. That's how I would rank it. How would you guys rank it? I'll read these texts in a bit. Rob, what do you think? What do you think Chiefs fans would say to this question? Someone mentioned Max Crosby. That's a good one. Crosby's certainly in the mix. I think Crosby wants to be a villain, though. Mm-hmm. I don't think Max Crosby wants you guys to like him. So maybe that's why he'd be high on this list. I mean, the Patrick Mahomes going back and forth, you picked the wrong person. I mean, that is directed at Max Crosby. So, no, Crosby's a good one. That's why I wanted to ask you guys. I wanted to know.
If you asked me to go 1, 2, 3, I don't think Crosby's in the top three. I think Burrow is 1. I think Chase is 2. And I think Sirianni is 3. Because and maybe I'm off base here. As much as the Eagles walloped the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and right now I'm watching our friends on First Things First on Fox, and they're showing highlights of both Super Bowls, I don't think Chiefs fans hate Jalen Hurts. I don't think they hate A.J. Brown. I don't think they hate anyone on that defense. I don't think they hate Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley. I don't think they have a hate for any of the Eagles players, but I think they hate Sirianni. And Burrow and Chase, I mean, we know why they hate them, but I think that's the 3. I think it's Sirianni is 3, Chase is 2, and I don't think anyone's hate is Joe Burrow. And we could do a Joe Burrow is a good football player topic, the most generic radio topic of all time. The text line would fill with how much they hate him real quick.
Someone said, what about Deshaun Watson? Are we sure that he's still in the league?
That's on everyone's list. I don't think there's a fan base, Cleveland included, that's like, man, you know who I love? Deshaun Watson. No one likes that guy.
I'm just asking. I didn't know. I was simply asking. I didn't know. I wanted to know if that was the case. I wasn't sure.
I'm saying a surprising amount of Josh Allen on the text line. Do fans really hate Josh Allen?
Yeah, I don't think they like Josh Allen. I think the dislike of Josh Allen is much more of a people think he's better than our guy. Like, he's never done anything for you to dislike him. He's never been in any trouble. He doesn't say anything. I don't even know what Josh Allen sounds like.
All he does is, he loses to Mahomes in the playoffs.
No, he does do that. He absolutely does do that.
After he loses, he's nothing but respectful to the Chiefs. It's not like he loses to the Chiefs and goes, God, we should have got them. They stink. He's always like, they were the better team today. What are you going to do? Other than he's another good quarterback, I don't get how you could hate Josh Allen. Maybe he wins one of these games, but he hasn't ever.
Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, why are you saying you guys are you not a Chiefs fan? I don't know why we do this at the beginning of every season. You guys know this. The only team that I cheer for is Missouri. It's the only team I cheer for. The rest of the teams, if they win or lose, I'll be all right. Like, if the Chiefs lose on Sunday, I want them to win. It's definitely better for us if they win, but I'm going to sleep just fine. Let Missouri lose to Louisiana on Saturday. I will not sleep very well this weekend at all. I will not have a very fun weekend. No part of my weekend will be very fun if that happens. So, no, the only team that I cheer for is Missouri basketball and football. Everybody else, no. There's a lot of teams I don't like, but cheer for, no. I only cheer for one team.
God, if Missouri lost to Louisiana, we wouldn't even leave with Chiefs Eagles. I don't care. If they lost to Louisiana at home, 100% that's the lead on Monday.
We haven't really talked about it, but I am actually going to the Crawford-Canelo fight. I'm flying out after the show today. I'm really excited to go. I don't think I would go to the fight if they lost to Louisiana. I'm serious. I don't know if I have the capacity. I don't know if I could go to the fight if Missouri lost to Louisiana. I don't know if I could do it. You think I'm joking? I'm 100% serious. No, I'm good. I'm all right. I don't want to go.
I know you're 100% serious.
I'll just watch it on TV. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. Like, no, I don't.
I know all the work you did to get ready to go to that fight. I know all the work you've done.
I've been thrilled to go to the fight, but no. If
I've seen all the behind the scenes, so I can't imagine you sitting in your hotel room being like, "Screw that! Louisiana got Mizzou today." Just
I'm telling you, I don't know if you've been to Allegiant or not, but for those of you that have been to Allegiant, there's no way that I'm going to make the trek to go to Allegiant Stadium after a Missouri loss to Louisiana. There's no way. There's a 0% chance that is how I'm spending my Saturday evening. No, thank you. Rob, you are actually very excited. Your number one sporting event this weekend actually happens tonight. It is Kansas State and Arizona. You are picking the Wildcats to lose, the Wildcats from Manhattan, not the ones from Tucson. You think K-State's losing today. I actually put a wager. I can show you. I bet real American currency. I think having Dylan Edwards back is turning that team around. I think K-State's going on the road and winning. You know what? This is just going to be a bet and a hope in Chris Klieman. That's what I'm doing. I'm betting on Chris Klieman in this one that I don't think K-State is nearly as bad as we've talked about them the last couple of weeks. I think that Klieman turned this thing around. I got them winning today.
I don't have them winning. And listen, as much as it's a KU and K-State are rivals and the whole deal, I love Chris Klieman. I got a lot of respect for Chris Klieman. He's great to this show. I think he's a good coach, all the things. I don't know they are heading out to the desert after what I've seen in the first 3 weeks and winning a game on the road at Arizona. Like, it's more than just the loss to Army. Carrington, they needed a last-second drive by Avery Johnson to pull it out of the fire against North Dakota. And not North Dakota State, the team that perpetually wins FCS championships. North Dakota. It's weird to say about K-State, the model of consistency, and it's week 4 in college football. I guess week 3, but K-State's playing their 4th game. Man, it feels a little must-win-ish for the Cats tonight. If you go on the road,
there's no question it's a must-win game. Like that's not debatable. If you fall to 1-3 and we're not even at the difficult part of your schedule, yes, them missing a bowl game is very much a topic, very much a concern if they lose this. So this ain't it'd be nice to have. No, this is a must-win K-State needs to play well. They need to get themselves out of the rut. And that's what I'm saying is this is a vote of confidence in Chris Klieman. I think that Chris Klieman is far too good of a coach. I think he is far too skilled of a coach. I still think this team has too much. They're not a 1-3 football team. I don't think they go out and I don't think they light the world on fire today. I do think the K-State turns things around and they get closer to being the team that we thought they were going to be. The message is still simple. K-State has not done anything that eliminates them from all of their preseason goals. They can still make the college football playoff. You can't win it if you lose to Arizona and you start 0-2 in the Big 12. You can pack this thing up. You can pack it up. I'm serious. You're cooked if you lose this game. No, I'm taking the Wildcats. I'm taking the Wildcats from Manhattan. Coming up in about 30 minutes, Nate Taylor of ESPN is going to join the show. We'll get you back to Chiefs Week 2 against the Eagles. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The wait is finally over. Football season is here, and FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff with an offer that you don't want to miss. New customers, you can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, any bet. Bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. Use it how you want. Build your favorite parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style is. Remember, FanDuel has you covered. Be sure to check out FanDuel.com/KFNZ. Use that promo code to download the FanDuel app today and get started. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus packs, which expires 7 days after restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
It's football season, and I can't wait for the games. And now I have even more reason to cheer on the Chiefs. I just head to Hy-Vee the day after any game and score savings at the pump with my Hy-Vee Perks card. Win or lose, I earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 35 points, I save 35 cents per gallon when I spend $35 on groceries. The more we score, the more I save only at Hy-Vee. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Hey guys, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive. But what if you're just not feeling it? Low energy, brain fog, maybe you have no drive. It might not just be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Heartland Men's Health, they know what you're going through, and they know exactly how to help. Low T can lead to poor sleep, weight gain, low sex drive, and zero motivation, but it doesn't have to be that way. Do you know what the first step is? It's taking the free Low T quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com. It only takes 2 minutes. Then schedule your $99 consult. That includes lab work and a full medical review. And if your treatment starts that day, that means your visit is on the house. Don't wait. Heartland Men's Health is changing lives in Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Call this number, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com today. That one phone call can change your life, can change your summer. So get back to feeling like yourself. Pick up the phone and call Heartland Men's Health today.
With next-day delivery available straight to your job site, it's easy to keep jobs running smoothly with the Home Depot. Plus, with pricing benefits for pros and top-quality brands, you only have to make one stop for the whole job. The Home Depot. How pros get more done.
It's time to build that dream deck over at All Weather Decks. Schedule a free estimate today at 913-206-1974 or online at allweatherdecks.net. All Weather Decks, the right deck at the right price.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Listen to K-State versus Arizona this Friday on The Fan, AM 610, with pregame at 6 and kickoff at 8. This is your home for K-State athletics. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey's sports station.
Welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you guys on this wonderful, wonderful Red Friday, getting you ready for week 2 between the Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know, not reporting, I think Xavier Worthy is going to play. I just got a hunch. I don't think Andy puts him out there on Thursday and Friday without any intention in him playing. Now, I don't know what his role can be, but this just feels to me like a game time decision. We wake up on Sunday and we get those flurry of tweets from the NFL insiders that give you the update for your fantasy teams on who plays and doesn't play. The fact that he can already go back on the practice field, to me, really confirms what we heard Danon say earlier in the week when he talked about this being a pain management thing.
The only concern that I have for Xavier Worthy and that day-to-day injury is because he's not a bulky guy. He's not a big receiver. He's not Juju Smith-Schuster. He's not DeAndre Hopkins. He's not the bigger, even Rashee Rice. So you kind of wonder about the fragility of it, but the pain tolerance itself. I played with 2 subluxating shoulders, and for the medical people out there that know that, if you remember, now I'm really dating myself. Remember in Lethal Weapon with Mel Gibson, when his shoulder popped out, and he would hit it on the wall and pop it back in? That's because his shoulder was subluxating. That means it would pop in and out on a random. It doesn't matter if you hit somebody. It doesn't matter if you just made a quick movement. That's what can happen. I played with that. There were times where I had to labor to actually lift my right arm above my head while I was running a route, and to get a ball that was thrown over my head, that I had to scream to myself just to pull my arm up above my head.
How painful is that?
And it's painful, but it's manageable.
Okay.
And the game is, that's how it is. Obviously, the game is about managing pain.
So that was Danon Hughes earlier this week talking about Xavier Worthy and that this injury is much more of a pain management thing. If the Chiefs have made the determination that he doesn't need surgery, and this is just how do you stabilize his shoulder? How comfortable does he feel? Does he feel comfortable enough to fall on it and get back up and do the things that he needs to do to play at a productive level? I think he's going to have some involvement in the game. Now, obviously, I could end up being wrong on this thing, and this was just hey, he's going to practice this week. He'll practice next week. We'll see how things go. Nate's going to join us here coming up in the next 30 minutes, so we'll get his thoughts and his opinion on whether or not Xavier Worthy is going to play. But again, call it a hunch. I think that he goes out there on Sunday. Rob, where are you at on this? Do you think Xavier Worthy is going to be active and suit up against the Eagles?
So I think he is going to be active and suit up. I don't think that's the best decision. I know we've been hyping this game up all week, and First Things First in town, and Fox Sports doing their pregame show from both the parking lot and at Power and Light, and I don't want to, and they're 0-1, and the numbers for 0-2 are bad. I don't want to diminish the game, but it's still week 2 of the NFL season. I would not rush Xavier Worthy back. I would, hey, he's practicing. Let's try to keep him up to speed. Let's let him have a week off. Let's get him back and implementing the offense against the Giants. And frankly, in 2 weeks when they play the Ravens, that to me is a much bigger AFC, more on the line game than the rematch against the Eagles this weekend. I understand all the reasons why you'd want him out there, but I think they are going to try to have him give it a go. I don't think that's the best plan. I would much rather ice him down 1 week and have him closer to 100% against the Ravens than push him against the Eagles. Something bad could happen.
Yeah, I just don't know if you're going to be close to 100% with the kind of injury that he has. And that's why, to me, if they don't think that surgery is the option and we think that he is going to play next Sunday as opposed to this one, your dislocated shoulder and the muscles and tendons around it ain't getting that much better in 5-6 days. And that's why I say it's just a pain management thing. Do you have the ability to stabilize this thing? And ultimately, when he gets hit on his shoulder and driven to the ground, are you going to be able to keep it where it is? Can he get back up and can he repeat the process? And if you feel comfortable enough in doing that and you trust your medical staff and your team, I don't know why you at least wouldn't give it a go. I do think he at least goes out there and works out on Sunday.
100% he warms up. 100%. That video is kind of like, let's think that it'll be 1:15. It'll be halftime of the noon game. And that video from a Harold Kuntz or a whoever is going to have him warming up and get Chiefs fans excited. It's worth noting the official injury report is out. He's listed as doubtful. So
which makes sense.
I think he'll warm up, and I think he's very game time decision-ish. If I was Andy Reid and I was in charge of the Chiefs, I would say, you are not playing today, but please warm up as if you are, and we'll have you back to full go for the Giants next week. But I do think you're right. I do think he is going to give it everything he's got to try to get out there, but I do not think he's going to end up playing.
A big thing for me in this matchup is, do the Chiefs have the ability to take away 2 of the Eagles' weapons? Like, if we are calling the Eagles' weapons in this matchup, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith, in the Super Bowl, 3 of those 4 players scored a touchdown. If that's the case where you would say that your star players played well, I just don't think Kansas City has enough good players on their offense to be able to keep up with that. I kind of feel like we're at the point where you kind of got to factor in at least 1 tush push or 1 Saquon Barkley touchdown. They just run the football so effectively. It is at the center of everything that they do offensively. You kind of factor one of those things in. You got to figure out a way to slow down one of those other 2 pass-catching options. Devontae Smith had a big catch down the middle of the field that kind of felt like it put the icing on the game. There were a couple of those moments in the Super Bowl, but that Devontae Smith touchdown was like all right, this game is over. A.J. Brown a couple of times had a mismatch against Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie's just not a big enough guy to cover A.J. Brown. He's a big enough guy to cover a lot of people. A.J. is he's a different kind of receiver, and the Chiefs they just don't really have that kind of corner. If you're looking at what kind of game this needs to be, and we talked about, this needs to be a rock fight. This needs to be a fist fight in the middle of the street. This needs to be a game in which the Chiefs try to win 21-17. The Chiefs try to win this game 17-14. If this is a 31-24 kind of game, then, in my opinion, Philadelphia won that game. I just think they are going to be able to outlast the Chiefs offensively. So this is something, if you're Spags, you did a great job with Saquon Barkley in the Super Bowl. He was somebody that you were really worried about, and they put a lot of resources into slowing him down and stopping him, and they were successful. Well, you got to stop the big plays downfield to Devontae Smith. You can't have a penalty on 3rd down that gives them an automatic first down because you were trying to stop A.J. Brown. You got to be able to take away 2 of these 4 options in order to make this game a lower scoring game than I think Philadelphia wants it to be.
Here's my concern, and it's something we've been talking about all week. You're more concerned about the offense. I'm more concerned about the defense. I look at last week's game between the Eagles and the Cowboys, and I know the Eagles did not look like the most impressive team in the NFL, but they won on Thursday night at home against a competent Cowboys team. A Cowboys team is probably a little bit similar to the Chargers team the Chiefs faced in Week 1. Man, they got 1 star performance from their big dogs. Jalen Hurts was great against the Cowboys. He had 60 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. He had another 150 in the air, 19 of 23. Jalen Hurts was a star on Thursday night. Saquon was fine. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't star. A.J. Brown could have not played. He might have been reading his book because he didn't exist in that game. And Devontae Smith was also MIA with exactly 3 catches for 16 yards. And they beat the Cowboys. Now, the Chiefs are better than the Cowboys, but you talk about, hey, if you got to slow down the stars for the Chiefs to have a chance to win. I'm guessing if we listened to RJ Choppy and all those guys down in Dallas a week ago, hey, what's the game plan to stop the Eagles? They're probably saying we can't let their stars be stars. And outside of Jalen Hurts, their stars were not stars in week 1, and the Eagles still won. So I worry that this defense, even if things go well and they take a star away, do the Eagles have too much star power where another guy gets going and it becomes a problem for this Chiefs defense?
Yeah, but I would think if you're the Chiefs, I think you would absolutely take this. Like, if you were telling me that exactly what the Cowboys did. Now, Jalen Hurts played well. Like, I know the numbers don't look gaudy. He was 19 of 23, and almost every time they needed a play, Jalen Hurts made it last Thursday. He played really well. But, I mean, Saquon Barkley had 18 carries for 60 yards. Devontae Smith had 3 catches for 16 yards. A.J. Brown had 1 catch for 8 yards. If that's the kind of offensive production that we're talking about on the road against Kansas City, I think they win. Now, I think what is very, very important in this is the Cowboys ran the football successfully. Javonte Williams had 54 yards rushing. Miles Sanders had 53 yards rushing. They had 22 carries for 119 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns against the Eagles. They also got a big game from CeeDee Lamb, at least from a numbers perspective. We know about in the fourth quarter, CeeDee Lamb had those couple of drops. You're probably going to need to run the football successfully. And if you look back to last season, you probably need the Eagles to make a mistake, and you need to capitalize on their mistake. Think about the 2 losses that Philadelphia had. It was a drop by Saquon Barkley late in the game against the Falcons, and they also had that drop in the middle of the field from Devontae Smith against the Commanders last year. Those are the only teams to beat the Eagles last year. Now, I don't think their roster is as strong, especially on the defensive side, as it was last year, but we're talking about the best team in the National Football League. They're going to need to make some mistakes here or there, and you're going to have to capitalize on those mistakes to beat a team that I just think has a little bit more firepower than you have. We got Nate Taylor coming up in about 20 minutes. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Tune in Mondays at 4 to hear the play-by-play voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here telling you about our friends over at The Other Place, and they've got great game day specials available for every Chiefs game. So if you're looking for a pizza, they got a 14-inch 2-topping pizza for just $12. 8 wings and a basket of tots, $12. If you want a beer, they got $4 domestic cups. Also for Red Friday, today is Red Friday, they got $6 select appetizers. Also, you can get a Busch Light Tall Boy. You know Rob is going crazy for it. So if you're looking for a one-of-a-kind game day experience, you're also looking at the next best thing to being at the stadium, and you want a raucous environment to watch the Chiefs on Sunday. Let me tell you about our friends over at The Other Place with 5 area metro locations. Listen up, folks. I want to tell you guys about my new obsession. It's Daisy French Onion Dip. With football season here, it is the perfect dip for your chips, your wings. The delicious Daisy French Onion Dip and the Daisy Ranch Dip, they're game changers. They're delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and real spices and also ingredients that you find right there in your kitchen. So the next time you're having people come over to celebrate the start of the football season, you better make sure you have one thing, and I'm talking about that Daisy French Onion Dip. You can find it the next time you go to the grocery store.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Let's talk about the buying experience at Lewisburg Ford.
It's the best anywhere. Just ask all our customers, Toby. It is hands down the best experience you can have buying a new car. We have the no-hassle Toby Tobin price that we've had for over 45 years now. Nobody else can say that. We've been saving Kansas City thousands and thousands of dollars for a lot of years.
I have been buying Ford cars and trucks from Lewisburg Ford for over 30 years. And I know personally this is the best place to buy a Ford car or truck. Great prices, but there's a whole lot more than that.
It doesn't just stop at price, Toby. No. There's other factors to this equation, and it's trade-in allowance, financing, and the experience of how knowledgeable the people are that you're dealing with. And we surpass everybody in all those areas. We always have. We always will. That's why calling us is important.
Do you have that new pickup?
Absolutely. And it's dynamite.
Okay. Lewisburg Ford is your best place to buy a Ford car or truck. What's your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Lewisburg Ford or LewisburgFord.com.
Why is Macy's one-day sale the one sale you can't miss? For starters, you'll find our best prices of the month on fall's top trends, like $99.99 for trenches and barn jackets, diamond bracelets $249, and for cozy nights in, comfy sheets at $19.99 and under. Plus, it's Star Money bonus days, when Star Rewards members can earn Star Money faster. Not a member yet? Join for free online or in-store. Don't miss Macy's one-day sale today. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Football's back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long, and you can play right now in the state of Missouri. And playing on Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your entries right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. And you can play with as little as $1. I love the Underdog app, especially this time of the year. Multiple sports going on, combining entries from different sports into one selection is how I love playing on the Underdog app. So download the app today and sign up with promo code BOB to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5 with promo code BOB. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 and over and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Save up to $4,500 with Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter, thanks to limited time tax credits and special incentives on energy-efficient HVAC systems. But don't wait. Those federal tax credits expire after December. Upgrade your heating and cooling system, and you can enjoy lower energy bills and year-round comfort. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Call 913-888-4262 for your free consultation. Visit callhamilton.com for detailed terms and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. We've got a huge variety of metals in stock, and we cut to size fast. Bottom line, we get it done fast, so you get it done fast. Doesn't get easier than that. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store or buy online at metalsupermarkets.com.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Shawnee Mission Ford. We've got a wreck down south, 435 westbound just before 103rd. It is the 2 left lanes that are blocked. 435 southbound just past front, the right lane blocked by a stall. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, this is Patrick Mahomes. Catch me every Tuesday with CDOT at 3:15, right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
I already know what Rob is going to say to this stat. Causation versus correlation. I know Rob well. At some point, I think I know Rob better than he knows himself. I got this idea from reading the text line. Someone texted in and said, Carrington, the Chiefs aren't going to run the ball. Andy doesn't learn. Maybe I have become the Andy Reid defender in this. I think Andy Reid is one of the 5 greatest coaches in the history of the National Football League. I think he understands the importance of running the football. I really do. I think he understands. I know you guys have your questions, your doubts. I don't about this. I looked this up because I was curious. Did you know that in Isaiah Pacheco's career, when he gets at least 10 carries, the Chiefs are 21-4 in those games? 21-4. The games in which Isaiah Pacheco plays and gets fewer than 10 carries, they are 8-6. Now, you usually run the ball when you are ahead. You are trying to run out the clock, etc. I do think that this stat just kind of goes to show you, man, when they try to run the football, when they're successful at running the football, when their offense is balanced, the Chiefs are really, really difficult to beat. When their offense is not balanced, and to me, it's pack, go be great ball, that's kind of when you can get the Chiefs. That's what we've seen their offense in the last 2 Chiefs games that we watched. They didn't try to run the ball against the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and that's just a defense. If you're going to tell me it's a passing down every single time, you're also playing from a deficit, and it's just go get after the quarterback, that was one of the best defensive lines in the league at being able to do that. Against the Chargers, have your questions about the Chargers. We're talking about a well-coached team that has a Hall of Fame-esque coach, whether it's NFL, college, one of the best coaches that we've seen, and a team that won double-digit games. If you're just not going to try, and it's a massive advantage for the defense. So, Rob, I'll give you a chance to respond to this because I know you're going to argue causation versus correlation, but that's the stat. In the games in which they have given Isaiah Pacheco 10 carries, just 10, the Chiefs are 21-4 in his career. When it is fewer than 10 carries, the Chiefs are 8-6. He has to be in the center of whatever game plan they are doing. They don't have enough other viable options in their offense to think that you can go win this game without having Isaiah Pacheco. He doesn't need to have a career day. Can you get him 16 carries for 81 yards? That's not a day that anybody's going to ride home about, but if they could have that kind of game that keeps the pressure off Pat, keeps the defense honest, that means you're running the ball, you're extending drives, you're turning 2nd and 5 in the first downs, that means a lot within the flow of a game. They have to run the ball against the Eagles.
So, first off, don't be stealing my arguments before I make them. That makes this less fun for me. That steals a lot of the joy out of what I'm about to say when you say it before me. Because it's 100% correlation and not causation. The Chiefs are not 21-4 because, man, they really rode Isaiah Pacheco to those wins. That is a sentence we have never, ever said. We haven't talked about them using the running back as a key to victory since Jamal Charles left town. Like, that's just not a thing in the modern NFL. So it is 100% correlation, not causation. But your larger point, I do think is accurate.
But I'm sorry, though. I'm sorry to cut you off, though. But this to me, though, is it's not. It is a thing in the modern NFL. Name a team that you think is good in the National Football League, and I guarantee you they can run the football successfully. Every single team that you think can win the Super Bowl, you think the Packers can? They got Josh Jacobs. He scored a running touchdown in 11 games. You think the Lions can win it? They spent the first-round pick on a running back and have 2 of the best running backs in the league. You think the Baltimore can win it? Do you think the Buffalo can win it? Every single team that people think is good and can win the Super Bowl can run the football. Now, it's varying degrees of how good they are at running the ball, but there's not a single team that you think has a legitimate chance in which their running back is not a factor into anything they do offensively. There's not a one.
So we agree there. The Chiefs need to have the running back be a factor. I would say if you ask me, who name the good teams all have good running backs? Well, I would tell you that, yes, all the good teams have good running backs, but they're not winning because of their running backs. I would tell you they're winning for other things, and it's exactly correlation, not causation. They are icing games down with their running backs. But your 10,000-foot viewpoint, I actually agree with, despite my running back hate. The Chiefs can't be a 0 at running the ball. I might hate running back. I might think that it's a little bit of an overvalued position. I might think all those things we've talked about. But you can't be 2011 Texas Tech. You just can't. You need to be a nice 60-40 split pass to run. And right now the Chiefs are like a 90-10. And a 90-10 split is not winning games. So although I disagree with your stat being why the Chiefs are winning, we agree on the larger point. Patrick Mahomes playing Texas Tech ball, like it's that Oklahoma game that everyone points to in college, is a losing formula in the league. He's great, and he's the best player on the planet, and because of that, he can keep games close like we saw on Friday, but you can't be 45 passes and 7 runs. It is not a sustainable model. I don't think you have to rush for 100 yards. I don't think you have to establish the run or ground and pound, but I also don't think you can be, high-flying offense and look like Hawaii with Timmy Chang. You just can't do it in the NFL.
Yeah, text line 913-586-7965. CDOT, the Chiefs have been the best team in the league for the last 5 years, and they haven't been able to run the ball. Who cares about other teams? That's just not true. The Chiefs have absolutely been able to run the football when they won Super Bowls. Isaiah Pacheco, when they won the Super Bowl, he had the 18th most rushing yards in the league. Again, I'm not saying you need to be dominant running the football. You don't need to be that. But the Chiefs absolutely, in the last time they won the Super Bowl, Isaiah Pacheco's 935 yards rushing, averaging 4.6 yards per carry and 7 touchdowns, is a reason on why the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Because if you remember, if we can go all the way back in time when they didn't have a whole lot else at wide receiver, they had 3 offensive players they could count on. They had Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce, and Isaiah Pacheco, and they ran the football successfully, and they could move the chains. I'm not saying you need Derrick Henry to win the Super Bowl. You don't need Christian McCaffrey. You can't run the ball 5 times against playoff teams the way that they did on Friday and think that you are beating the Philadelphia Eagles. You cannot run the ball 3 times with Isaiah Pacheco in the Super Bowl and think that you are going to beat top-ranked defenses. That's just not the way the football works. Other things break down when that's the case. I will continue to bang this drum. You guys tell me every time how important it is to protect the franchise, and you got to keep Pat upright. Well, having him throw 42 times to Jason Brownlee, Juju Smith-Schuster, and bringing back McCole Hardman is not the best way to do that. Running the ball 14 times with Isaiah Pacheco is one of the better offensive plans that they can have. If you don't think Xavier Worthy is going to play, in my opinion, the best offensive player they have on the field is Isaiah Pacheco. Give him the ball.
See, now we're going to venture into a different conversation here because I don't believe Isaiah Pacheco is their best offensive player on Sunday.
I think he is right now.
I'm just going to continue to bang this drum. I know
you and I are both banging a lot of drums.
We're basically the start of first things first. We got the drum line coming in.
For sure.
I know this show has been deemed the Travis Kelce hater. Travis Kelce is the best player on the Chiefs offense. He might not be in week 9. He might not be in week 18. He's 35 years old. I believe he's going to be 36 soon. Time is undefeated. I get that. But it's week 2. He should be in the best shape of his life. He hasn't taken that many hits on his body. Why did he, the best player on the team, get 4 targets in Brazil? 4. I think Travis Kelce is the best player on this offense. Everything I heard from the national pundits all offseason was, hey, Travis Kelce's back. Well, 4 targets and 2 catches ain't back, but I think he's the best player on the offense, and I am begging them. The way you're begging them to give the ball to Isaiah Pacheco, I am begging them. Give it to the Hall of Famer. Give it to the guy who's going to wear a gold jacket one day. No offense to Isaiah Pacheco. Maybe he is better today. Maybe it's 6 and 1 and a half dozen the other. But you know who I'd rather have the ball with? The best tight end in the history of the NFL and not the 17th best running back.
Maybe just me and the text line, we just reached that impasse and we just won't be able to move forward. See, it is true. The Chiefs have never been able to run the ball. They don't commit to it, but it's true. They've won 3 Super Bowls and they've never been a running team. I feel like I want to pull my hair out. I don't think the Chiefs need to be ground and pound. They're not San Francisco. They're not Philadelphia. I don't know how you guys can watch their offense and think that the plan for them to win this game is Isaiah Pacheco runs for 21 yards and Patrick Mahomes throws it 41 times. I don't know how we're watching the same offense for the last 17 weeks and think that's the best way to win against good teams. I'm confused that you guys feel this way. I'm genuinely confused at how this has happened when it comes to it. I'm confused that a franchise that loves Jamal Charles, loves Priest Holmes, knows the importance of running the ball. Now it's like, you don't got to. Oh, all right, I got it. Hey, it makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to me. We got Nate Taylor coming on the show here in just a bit. He is going to join us in about 90 seconds, actually. Rob went downstairs to go get him, so we will have Nate Taylor join us in just a little bit. I want to play this for you. This is going to be maybe the quickest cut that we have ever played in Drive history. Andy Reid was asked about Xavier Worthy's chances to play. This is the whole thing. This has not been abbreviated. This has not been cut in half. There's not been any of those things. Listen to this.
I'd probably tell you it's slim, but there's still a chance, yeah.
Slim, but still a chance. Oh, I'm with you. It's slim, but still a chance. I am very interested to get Nate Taylor's opinion on this coming up in just a bit on what he thinks about Xavier Worthy's ability to play on Sunday and if he thinks that he is going to be able to give it a go. While we wait for Nate to come onto the show, I want to play this again for you guys. Elliott Shore-Parks was on the show. Elliott Shore-Parks was on the show yesterday, and he mentioned the great players that the Chiefs have on the roster. The point that I made to open up the show today is superheroes need help. Batman is a part of the Justice League. There is a Fantastic Four. There is the X-Men. Like, superheroes usually work in teams. If the Chiefs are going to win this game, it can't be Pat by himself. They need their great players to be great.
The Chiefs have, in my opinion, 5 great players. They have Trent McDuffie, Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, Patrick Mahomes, and I think Travis Kelce Silver. Oh, Creed Humphrey's the 5th. Creed Humphrey, I would say, is the 5th great player on the roster, and that can be enough to keep them competitive. But if you look at the two teams, the Eagles have far and away the best roster. Like, they have so much more talent than the Chiefs do. I mean, Mahomes would probably kill to play for the Eagles as opposed to dealing with the players he has on the Kansas City roster. So I think there's still a big gap in terms of talent. Now, are there areas where the Chiefs could take advantage of the Eagles? I think the Eagles' interior offensive line right now, because they're dealing with an injury to Landon Dickerson, could be somewhat susceptible. I think Chris Jones, as you well know, is very capable of taking over a game. George Karlaftis, also obviously a great player, and I think both of them on the line combined could give the Eagles some problems. But outside of that, no, I mean, the Chiefs' receivers aren't that great. Their secondary is not that great. The Eagles have outstanding skill players. So I think the Chiefs really just have to hope that Steve Spagnuolo and Andy Reid have an outstanding game plan and that Patrick Mahomes can be Patrick Mahomes.
That was Elliott Shore-Parks joining us on the show earlier in the week, and he said that he believes that the Chiefs have 5 great players on their team. Whatever you think the number possibly is, I know they're great at quarterback. They need their other great players to play well in this game if they want to pull off the upset, and I use upset in air quotes. You can't let Chris Jones on a 3rd and 14 lose containment and Justin Herbert run for 17 yards and convert a first down. Like, not from a guy that we think is going to Canton, not from a guy who was one of the great defensive players of his era. If Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith and Jawan Taylor, and these are guys that you have invested significant amount of money into, your offensive line just needs to play well in this game. Philadelphia controlled the offensive line. They control the defensive line in the Super Bowl. They control the game in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are going to need to combat that in this matchup. We welcome Nate Taylor into the show. Nate, happy to have you on the show. Let's start with this. I think Xavier Worthy is going to play, and this is why.
Whoa!
I think he's going to play.
What?
I don't think Andy has him go out there and practice on Thursday. He's missed one practice in the middle of this.
It's wild.
It's not like he just randomly showed on Friday and just did a little bit of work. He practiced on Thursday and Friday. And if you were telling me that he doesn't need surgery, his shoulder is not getting better next week against the Giants. Like, it's also still going to be dealing with this and healing, and they're going to have to deal with this all season. I think it's a pain management thing. I think it's a how do you stabilize this? How can you ensure that when he goes to the ground that you're not going to cause further damage and he can get back up? We've seen plenty of players that can play with a dislocated shoulder. I think he's a game time decision, and we get the tweet from Schefter, Rappaport. I think we get the tweet that Xavier Worthy is going to play.
I do get the impression he's going to be out there, 2.5 hours before kick. Now, just for everybody to understand, like, the inactives come out 90 minutes before kickoff. So it's a 3:25 game.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, Xavier Worthy could be on the field testing. Now, it's not a lower body injury, which is good, of course. But we usually see guys like testing ankles, hips, knees, whatever, what's going on with my foot? We see those guys test it out.
How do you test your shoulder?
Scenario. I was about to say, I was like, it's a little different than like, hey, I need to see you like run and cut and make sure that you can like, stabilize, protect yourself, do all those things. So I would be surprised. It's amazing that they said, that Andy told us today, hey, it's slim, guys. But to your point, he did more today than he did yesterday. And he was in the locker room today. Like, after practice.
They usually just don't do this for a guy and then not play him.
I know. I'm kind of torn, ladies and gentlemen, because you make a lot of good points, Carrington. He was in the locker room with the rest of the guys, just chatting it up, having fun, being boys. Like, no harness, no strapping. Whatever he had on at today's practice was less than what he had on Thursday at practice. So there'll be some level of like padding or just extra protection if he is to play on Sunday. Could you be a decoy? I mean, there were some conversations about, hey, if that guy's running a 9 route, are you comfortable with him running a 9 route to open up somebody else underneath? And are you comfortable telling Patrick he might have 2 steps on whoever the DB is? I don't know if you want to throw it to him, but I saw him catch passes. Like, he can catch the football. He can hold the football. He can, obviously change directions. It's not anything lower body. So he is one incredibly tough, incredibly impressive athlete. I think most people with a health and medical background would tell you, hey, an extra 8 days would be great before you play the New York Giants on turf. Now, that's a little bit different. I have thought about that, like going to the Meadowlands and playing on turf versus, your own home field with grass. What you don't want to do is just get tackled and land on your shoulder, because obviously we saw that happen with Hollywood Brown last year, and he didn't have an issue before that.
I actually think the Chiefs are pretty fortunate, like all things considered. I mean,
they're thrilled.
I mean, we just saw on Thursday Night Football, a very innocent play for Jaden Reed. He breaks his collarbone, and now he's out until mid-November. Like, this thing, obviously, you don't want to lose Xavier Worthy, and if he misses one game, and especially this game, going up against the team you're going up against, not ideal. But, I mean, for a 5'11" guy to run square into a 6'4", 225 guy, I mean, this thing he could have been out for the rest of the season. Right. Like, that is a very realistic possibility of what could have happened for Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, because he never, I don't know how much they showed on YouTube. I'm trying to remember from Friday. But, when we watched him from the stadium or inside the stadium, there was no like, oh, no, let me, no. Talk to the trainers, get your stuff, go to the locker room. There was no chance of him returning. And so at the time you're thinking, okay, is it similar to what Hollywood and Tyreek Hill had? Is it something where like he's going to go on IR? Obviously we all know Rashee Rice is suspended for the first 6 weeks. So I was sitting there in the second quarter being like, wow, they are really back to all of last year again, where it's like, yep, gotta have long sustaining drives where you can't make a mistake and your margin for error gets really small, and Jawan Taylor, false started. Well, is that the drive, or is Patrick gonna have to do something insane? They gotta be thrilled with the fact that it's pretty much, again, unless something changes, Carrington, we're gonna see him on September 28th against the Baltimore Ravens. That game legitimately matters more than these upcoming two, because that's an AFC opponent that could be the determination of a tiebreaker. Obviously, we know Baltimore's 0-1.
I think it's almost a guarantee that he plays next week. I just don't see a scenario in which they have him practicing with the team for 2 weeks and then he doesn't play in back-to-back games. Maybe he doesn't play in this one. They don't feel comfortable enough.
Correct.
The fact that he's only missed one practice, so you would assume he's going to practice next week too and be a full participant for all of the days that they have. He will at minimum play next week against the Giants.
So if you were to say, hey, Nate, why is he not going to play on Sunday against the Eagles? Well, Andy Reid, as I've said before, is a very traditional old-school coach. So if we knew you did more Friday than you did Thursday, that's great. But how much are you actually a part of the game plan? How many, first-team reps did you do? You could do individual period. You could do stuff off to the side. But, I kind of need to see you with the 10 other guys in the unit so that I feel comfortable playing you in Sunday's game. That may be one of the reasons why Andy Reid says, hey, you made great progress. I appreciate you being kind of a morale boost for guys, because for Travis Kelce, you got to be thrilled, man. I saw Travis in the locker room. He was very happy today, mostly because, hey, that guy is he's not done for the season. He's not cooked. So I think that might be the deciding factor is, hey, coach, he actually could go. Let's give him like a 20 snap count for Sunday against the Eagles. It's your call. He might say, I don't know. The game plan really doesn't include him the way it did against the Chargers. So am I putting him at risk because he hasn't practiced as much as everybody else in the huddle? That may be one of the reasons why they say it's gone great so far in terms of the rehab and the recovery. They don't think that, hey, if you get tackled again, it's immediately going to pop out again. So, hey, let's give you a full week facing the Giants, and then we'll, get you back into the fold.
I want you to think about this question during the break, and we'll talk about it coming up in a bit. Let's say Jawan Taylor gets 2 penalties in the first quarter.
Shoot.
What happens? Like, he gets 2 penalties in the first quarter. That is not a unrealistic scenario.
First quarter?
He gets 2 penalties in the first quarter. What do you think happens? We'll get your answer for this next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. We're looking ahead to the start of the football season. It is that time of year. These players all have to be at their very best and ready to perform at the highest level when it matters most. Blue Chew provides access to chewable tablets that can help you feel and perform at your best. Stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. Be more confident where it counts. You'll have flashbacks to your glory days. Date nights just got longer and better for everyone because showing up matters during life's most exciting moments. Guys, this isn't just about performance. Give her group chat something to talk about. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. There's a special offer there for you. Get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use the promo code KFNZ at checkout and cover $5 for shipping. That's it. Go to BlueChew.com and get your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Coming up, Week 2 Bro Football Sunday, rematch of the big game from this past February as Kansas City hosts Philadelphia. Spread of the game is basically just pick the winner, total sitting at 47. Kansas City obviously looking for revenge. Philly smashed them in the big game, and I lean Kansas City to win, but my preferred play on this game will be on over 47. I didn't like either pass defense for either of these teams in week number 1, and it looks like KC will have its wide receiver 1 available for this game, so give me over 47, KC and Philly. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today, and please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Want to see the 2015 World Champion Royals swing it again? Come out to Home Run Derby X at Kauffman Stadium for a reunion on September 13th. Eric Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, Alex Gordon, Ben Zobrist, and Lorenzo Cain take their cuts against reps from the Blue Jays and the Mets. Come join the action for a night of massive dingers, slick defense, and target-smashing thrill. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets now at MLB.com/HRDXKC. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there with information coming at us all day, every day. It's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth.
Your cold is coming. Your cold is coming. When you feel a cold coming, shorten it with Zycam, the #1 cold shortening brand.
Oh, no, not before my big trip.
The big trip you've been planning is coming up, and so is your cold. But Zycam can shorten your cold and get you back to planning sooner.
Thanks, Revere.
We really should keep Zycam in the house.
Shorten your cold with Zycam.
Take it from America's most revered messenger. Shorten your cold at the first sign with cold shortening products from Zycam, the #1 cold shortening brand. Available in stores or see where to buy at Zycam.com.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. We've got a huge variety of metals in stock, and we cut to size fast. Bottom line, we get it done fast, so you get it done fast. Doesn't get easier than that. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store or buy online at metalsupermarkets.com.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
This sports report is brought to you by Bet365.
This hour's sports report is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is officially live in the Sunflower State. Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus in partnership with Kansas Star Casino.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Good afternoon, brought to you by Renner Garage Door. You've got a wreck near Shawnee, 35 southbound at 635. It's in the left lane. Stall Raytown, 435 northbound, just past Gregory in the right lane. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan.
4 o'clock on Friday can only mean one thing. From St. Joe to Sao Paulo to Santa Clara, he's there every step of the way. And nobody knows the Chiefs like Nate Taylor.
They will move Joe Tooney to left tackle.
Now of ESPN, join CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Nate is going to be with us from now until the end of the show. We are off at 4:30 today because of the Kansas City Royals. We actually only have one more week of which the Royals are going to preempt the show. So we are almost through with the baseball season. The Royals are 5 games out of the wild card with 15 to go. We have determined that baseball season is over in Kansas City. They have successfully done what they are supposed to do. They got us the football season.
That is true.
We got one more Buck night at the K. We got one more Kiss Cam at the K. That's it. It's over. It's done. It's done.
Man.
Nate Taylor, let me ask you this question. Let's say that Jawan Taylor gets 2 penalties in the first quarter of the game.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think happens? How do the Chiefs respond to that?
If you're Jawan Taylor, you're hoping that Patrick continues right where he left off in Sao Paulo, and you still score a touchdown. So maybe you still have the lead 14-10, 10-3, whatever.
Another player yelled at him and headbutted him in the middle of the game.
Who also made a catastrophic mistake. I take, and I know we get a little too overzealous. I don't want to be like prisoner of the moment. But I believe Matt Nagy, who yesterday, and I'm sure you guys played the audio, when he said, it's got to stop. So if you say it's got to stop, and then immediately the next quarter of professional football, you you have 2 penalties that push the offense back. I have to assume that he will. And again, I don't want to be a prisoner moment, but I have to believe Matt Nagy because I think Matt Nagy was specifically put out there yesterday to say those words so that Andy Reid doesn't have to. I don't love the scenario, but I think they would pull him.
I mean, I think more so than anything, they've had to kind of tolerate the penalties because they didn't really have a viable option.
Correct.
We believe that the 2026 right tackle is on the roster. That's what we believe.
Yes.
Next year, Simmons is at left, Jalen Moore is at right tackle, and you are going to move forward.
Right.
And if you're already going to have a really expensive backup like you have right now, like there's no avoiding that. Unless you're talking about sitting down Kingsley Suamataia, which that's not the conversation we're having this week.
No.
Somebody who makes a lot of money is not going to be playing. It has to be the player who, by far and away, has the most penalties in the National Football League for the last couple of years.
Yes.
He is at 41. There's not another player in the league that's in the 30s. Like,
That's
it's not
crazy.
a small amount of penalties more than the opposition.
Right.
It is a significant amount. He has almost resulted in minus 300 yards from scrimmage. Like,
And you don't touch the ball.
And you can't have, like, with the offense the way that it is right now, with the lack of weapons that they have, you can't have your offensive lineman taking first downs off the board, taking 20, 25 yards,
Right.
or a deep play down the field that you do get. Now it comes back because of a holding call. You cannot live with that.
No, you can't. And he is a really good pass blocker, guys. And that's got to be the thing that, like, kind of drives you crazy if you are a coach, if you are a teammate, if you're Patrick Mahomes, is like, he's an above average pass blocker. Still, guys, when he's on time and technically sound and understands what the play is and what his responsibilities are, he can still play at a high level. I always like to remind people of, like, what has happened before what might come next. They won the Super Bowl with him, and he played excellent in the second half of the 2023 season. And ever since then, it's been a roller coaster. I don't think he was an issue in the postseason last year. Everybody got worked against the Eagles, so, you know, it is what it is. It's untenable because they have Jalen Moore, and because you know this, Carrington. I think the first half of training camp, so before you get to, like, the first preseason game, before they played the Cardinals, he and Jawan Taylor and Jalen Moore were splitting reps at right tackle. This has been percolating since the team got to St. Joseph, because once they realized that Josh Simmons was not only cleared to be a full participant for training camp, but that he was going to exceed expectations early on, okay, we obviously want to put a lot of development and a lot of resources to Josh Simmons at left tackle, and the only way he's going to get better and be a potential Pro Bowl, All-Pro player, if he stays healthy, is by giving him as many reps as possible for Sao Paulo. And an argument can be made that Josh Simmons was actually the player getting better throughout the course of the game, not Jawan Taylor. You're a veteran guy who is supposed to be one of your anchors of the offensive line. So this has been in the case. The calculation you have to make is, okay, what helps us win today? So if it's 2 penalties in the first quarter, get them out, Jalen Moore's in. Now what do we do? Hopefully you say, well, Jalen Moore plays well, doesn't get penalized, Chiefs win the game. Now we're asking Jawan Taylor to be a professional and understand what it's like to be benched for the first time in his career, in the event that, like, there is an injury, in an event that there is, like, something that goes on with Josh Simmons or Kingsley Suamataia. That's why Jalen Moore is really overqualified for his job as the technical 6th offensive lineman. But I got a sense that the Chiefs have been understanding that this is a contract year for Jawan Taylor, and if the performance didn't improve, which through 5 quarters in this scenario it would not, then I don't know why you would necessarily waste more time, especially when you're 0-1, and we didn't necessarily predict that going into the game in Sao Paulo.
Do you think the officials unfairly
Yes.
pick on him?
Yes. Yes. And, I think it's a personality thing too. Jawan Taylor cares immensely about his performance, cares immensely about protecting Mahomes. Again, very good player, always been a starter in the league. But he is someone who doesn't necessarily he just takes the penalty, takes the punishment, and moves on. And that is by nature a very offensive lineman thing to do. Don't make it about me. All right, got to figure it out. Okay, my bad. It's on me. Move to the next play. I got it. But did you see him push back when Travis Kelce got on him? YouTube didn't show that. He's never, I think there's one time I've seen Jawan Taylor get upset, and that was because they were going to split reps with Jalen Moore. That was the one time I actually saw him get upset with Andy Heck, who Andy Heck on the first day of training camp told him, hey, you're coming off. Hey, you had a procedure in the offseason. He's the new guy. Let him get some reps with the ones. And Jawan's like, I'm the starting right tackle, which is true. Starting right tackle gets all the reps with the ones, which is true. But, but on the field, he doesn't get in a ref's face. He doesn't really argue. He doesn't really he's not a combative person. He's very skilled, very technically sound when he's on time, he's not making mistakes. But I do think he gets picked on because refs just know if I see anything, given his reputation that has now been put out there, no one's going to be questioning me as the line judge, as the back judge, as the referee. So I think it's a trickle-down effect.
Right now, we're joined in studio by Nate Taylor of ESPN. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll reset things and we'll get back to Chiefs and Eagles. I want to ask you this question. This is one of the very few games that you have been at in which you could say the other team is better than them. How do you think the Chiefs win this game? I'll tell you how I think they win it next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, this is Patrick Mahomes. Catch me every Tuesday with CDOT at 3:15, right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive is brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today
Brought
and
to you
get
by
the
Renner
money.
Garage Door. You've got a stall
Car
Ray
wreck?
Town.
Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Renner Garage Door. You've got a stall Raytown. It's 435 northbound just past Gregory. The right lane is blocked. Out near DeSoto, that's a stall. Right lane blocked. K10 westbound just past Kill Creek. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center and Val, 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here telling you about our friends over at The Other Place. And they've got great game day specials available for every Chiefs game. So if you're looking for a pizza, they got a 14-inch two-topping pizza for just $12. 8 wings and a basket of tots, $12. If you want a beer, they got $4 domestic cups. Also for Red Friday, today is Red Friday, they got $6 select appetizers. Also, you can get a Busch Light Tall Boy. You know Rob is going crazy for it. So if you're looking for a one-of-a-kind game day experience, you're also looking at the next best thing to being at the stadium, and you want a raucous environment to watch the Chiefs on Sunday. Let me tell you about our friends over at The Other Place with 5 area metro locations.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Renner Garage Door has proudly served our community for decades. The best styles, technology, and family values. That's Renner. Get your free repair or replacement quote today. Forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City, now open. Dine on mouth-watering appetizers, then feast on one of our 6 American Wagyu burgers, including the Bacon Jam Burger and Blazing Burger. Wash it down with your favorite ice-cold beverage, all while watching the game on one of our 45 TVs. Dine in or carry out. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City always hits the spot. Brew Brothers and Brew Brothers Express are now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
At Verizon, lock in a low price on the best 5G in Kansas City and be the best you. Check where your ride is for your trip into the office. Get that almost impossible dinner reservation and save big with Verizon while you do it all. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. Stop by your nearest Verizon store today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Rankings based on root metrics. Root score report dated 2H 2024. Your results may vary. Additional terms apply.
You want to see the ring? Here, I have a picture. Wow, look at you. I know, right? Went to Hellsberg and customized the whole thing. Oh, yeah? Yeah, well, I showed them all her inspiration photos, picked the setting, the diamond. It's actually pretty fun. Now for the real hard part, asking her.
Well, congrats, buddy. The ring looks awesome.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Here we go. Count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
This is incredible.
Watch your local NFL game live all season long.
And he's in for a touchdown.
Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
Listen up, folks. I want to tell you guys about my new obsession. It's Daisy French Onion Dip. With football season here, it is the perfect dip for your chips, your wings. The delicious Daisy French Onion Dip and the Daisy Ranch Dip, they're game changers. They're delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and real spices and also ingredients that you'd find right there in your kitchen. So the next time you're having people come over to celebrate the start of the football season, you better make sure you have one thing, and I'm talking about that Daisy French Onion Dip. You can find it the next time you go to the grocery store.
Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 74.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State. New Missouri customers can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. And when we go live, place just a $5 bet to unlock $300 in bonus bets. Starting November 17th, you can create your DraftKings Sportsbook account in Missouri and get ready for launch day on December 1st. DraftKings Sportsbook brings you everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka in Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka in Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories. And the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the Cave or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
Hey, this is Patrick Mahomes. Catch me every Tuesday with CDOT at 3:15 right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, we got Nate Taylor in studio. This is our final segment of the week. We are off early because of the Royals. This is actually one of the last few shows that we are going to have that is going to be preempted by the Royals. All right, there's a lot of things to get your opinion on. Let's start with this. This is only the second time since Patrick Mahomes has been the starting quarterback for the Chiefs in which they have been the underdog as the home team. not very rarely is a team coming to Arrowhead in which you feel, hey, that team might be better than the Chiefs. That hasn't happened very often over the last 5 to 6 years or so. But it's certainly not crazy to think that the Chiefs can win this game. I think the Chiefs have to win a low-scoring rock fight kind of game. They got to win this game 24-14. They got to win this game 21-17. If this game is a 31-27 Eagles kind of game, I just don't think the Chiefs have enough firepower to be able to keep up with them. They got Saquon and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. You got Juju Smith-Schuster and Elijah Mitchell on one side. Like, they just got more dogs than you got. I just don't think that this can be a high-scoring game. I think this is a game in which your defense has to win. You have spent a lot of money and resources on that defensive line.
This is true.
That defensive line has to win consistently up front. They have to get pressure with their front four. You gave all that money to George Karlaftis a couple of weeks ago. Chris Jones is one of the highest-paid defensive linemen in the league.
Nick Bolton.
You brought back Derek Nottie. Like, your defensive line should be one of the stronger units on the team, and it wasn't in week one.
It really wasn't, and it wasn't like the Chargers didn't have an injury at one of the more important positions at left tackle. So it would be nice if they played Ashton Gelati a little bit more because he actually showed something in Sao Paulo. But, yeah, they need Mike Dana and George Karlaftis to be legitimate guys so that Chris Jones doesn't feel like there's so much pressure on me to make a play, even if it's late in the game. Charles Omenihu, I thought was okay, but he can play better. I think the crowd in Arrowhead can be a factor because the last time we saw the Eagles here, and I do think this is interesting, Jalen Hurts did not do well against the blitz. And that is one way to sort of like speed him up so that he doesn't have all day to find A.J. Brown. So I wonder if Steve Spagnuolo, again, with the crowd noise, can you blitz to get a risk-reward sort of play where, hey, you get a couple turnovers? One of the things that I think has been the most discouraging part of the Chiefs defense, even though they've been to 3 straight Super Bowls, is they just don't create enough turnovers. So one way to win this game, Carrington, is to actually take the ball away, give Mahomes a shorter field, and, you know, maybe create a little bit of a distance on the scoreboard to where the Eagles are chasing you late in the game versus what it seems like has always been the case since last year where it's like, okay, the game is tight. It's the fourth quarter. Please do something amazing, Patrick. And mostly he does. But the reason why they're underdogs is because, as we talked about, like the Eagles have an amazing roster. You know, like Jalen Hurts could beat the Chiefs on Sunday with Jahan Dotson, and he would be maybe the Chiefs' second best receiver. He's the Eagles' third. He's the Eagles' third best receiver. So get turnovers and get pressure on the quarterback.
A big thing for me in this, in which I have been kind of championing this all week, Isaiah Pacheco has 2 carries. He has 2 carries. Or 8, excuse me. He has 8 carries in their last 2 games. That's what I meant to say. He has 8 carries in their last 2 games.
3 in the Super Bowl, 5 on Friday. Yeah.
That's not a winning plan.
Correct.
Rob and I were debating this right before you got here. Every team that you think can win the Super Bowl, running the football is a part of their offense. Maybe they're not a run-first team. But if you were telling Pat in this matchup, hey, we're only going to run the ball 9 times, and we're going to tell you with Juju Smith-Schuster, Hollywood Brown, and all of these guys to go beat the Philadelphia Eagles, it seems like it's going to be a really frustrating day for 15. My point is not that the Chiefs have to run for 130 yards. You need Isaiah Pacheco to get 14 carries for 71 yards. You have to have the Eagles respect that you are going to run the football.
Yes.
Isaiah Pacheco is one of your best players. I actually think he's their best offensive player right now if we're talking about like ceiling of what I think he can accomplish. I think he has to be at the center of what they want to do.
Especially if you want a low-scoring game like you talked about. Like, hey, shortening the game comes down to handing the ball off and being successful on first or second down or converting, obviously, on third and short. So, yeah, I think it's so weird. Like, they definitely had the wrong game plan in the Super Bowl. Talked about that. Friday was fascinating because I think the entire team went through the, like, oh, my God, no, not again. Like, what? Like, he's walking to the locker room? Like, it's not even like the Chargers just got the ball for the first time. I think there was so much of a doom and gloom in the first quarter that like it completely got them out of their game plan. Andy's, patented signature 15-play script, you could blow that up. So let's see what it's like on Sunday in your home environment when you're 0-1 Everybody should be focused. Everybody should be energized. Carrington, I just had to look this up. Patrick Mahomes targeted Taekquon Thornton 4 times in Friday's game. That cannot be the ratio with him and Isaiah Pacheco. Like, Taekquon Thornton, good player, fits the offense really well. I know he had the nice 38-yard completion, but you got to give Pacheco more opportunities than Taekquon Thornton, especially if you're trying to control the tempo. And that was so frustrating about the second half for the Chiefs is the offense actually got going once they made adjustments, once they sort of calmed down, once Kelce got back into a flow and a rhythm with Mahomes. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we don't have time because we can't get the ball back and we're chasing points with the 2-point conversions and obviously being behind 10-0.
I also think it's important to note that their running game just came from their quarterback then at that point. Like, they started to run the ball in the second half. They just didn't run the ball with Pacheco or Kareem Hunt. Their quarterback just decided, okay, I'll do it then. If you aren't going to call the run play, I will be the run play.
Hey, hike. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, ain't nobody open. All right, get out of here. Like, and it wasn't even like he was pressured a lot of times. He was just like, oh, they're in man coverage. Great. I can just like get out of the B gap or go around the pocket. Yes, that's a great point. Like, if you want to use RPOs, that's fine. You do have to hand the ball off a couple times, Patrick. So, like, you know, there's a little bit of responsibility on him too. Like, yes, you could always throw that slant. Your arm is incredible. Hollywood Brown, probably going to be open. But if, again, to create the balance that you and I both want, and I'm sure that the listener wants, even if it's an RPO, hand it off to Pacheco, get him in a rhythm, get him in a flow just as much as, hey, we could always take that 6-yard completion just based on the Eagles probably being in his own coverage because they didn't blitz last year. So if they're not going to blitz you, run the ball, be effective. That would be, all these things make too much sense that they should do it. And hey, if it's a game in the 20s, then you're by Pacheco being effective, you're actually limiting how effective Saquon Barkley can be.
I don't know if you heard the segment earlier. Do you know what FanDuel has as Isaiah Pacheco's over-under on rush yards in the game?
No, I'm terrified.
Just take a guess.
22 yards.
33.5. That's what they have. Actually, what you said, that's what Kareem Hunt's over-under is. Kareem Hunt's over-under is 22.5 rushing yards. They have Isaiah Pacheco's over-under on rush yards at 33.5. They have his carries at 7.5.
You know what?
7.5 from RB1 on a playoff team. That's championship contending team.
Yes.
RB1's over-under is 7.5 rush attempts.
Ladies and gentlemen, my head is bowed in disappointment. This is... I don't want to be hyperbole, but this is honestly a grown-ass man's game. Line up and move them. Because you know what they did to you in February? They moved all y'all. Offense and defensive line.
I was going to say that. On both sides of the ball.
Yes.
That's why, like, during the, after the aftermath, a lot of people were just left tackle. Yes, that was a part of it. Like, they beat you up everywhere. They beat you up on the offensive side of the line of scrimmage. They beat you up on the defensive side. Their corners beat up your wide receivers. Like, this wasn't just a Joe Tooney problem.
Yeah.
This was they were the more physical team and pushed you around for 60-minute problem.
And again, I know you guys played the clip because I listened to it the other day on Rob Gronkowski's comments, which I agree, have some legitimacy to it because that's what the Eagles figured out. Oh, we just have to hit them over and over and over again. We don't need to do anything exotic. I think one of the more damning comments I kept hearing in the locker room after that Super Bowl is, I talked to Brian Cook. Anything? Like anything. Nah, man, it was the same stuff they've been doing all season. Okay, let me go to Mike Caliendo. Mike Caliendo, was this some stunts? Was it like they lined up with no, man, they just lined up and whooped us. All right, let me go to Joe Tooney. Joe, like, hey, you're the left tackle. No, he's just better than you. Cool. Like, it was wild for everybody on the team to be like, no, they just ran their patented plays. That's how good they are. Like, they kind of distilled it down to high school football. We'll just beat you up on the line of scrimmage. Our skill position players will make plenty of plays, and our quarterback, he might make 1 or 2 mistakes, but he can also beat you downfield. They gotta be able to run the ball early, demonstrate some toughness, some tenacity, and move the pile forward. Make a statement, right? I think if they get the ball first, or whatever their first possession is, that being the Chiefs offense, touchdown, man. You gotta put it in the Eagles' minds that like we are here. This is not what it's going to be like in New Orleans. Obviously, we have a different offensive line now to some degree, but like Isaiah Pacheco's getting the ball 6 times on this possession, and we're just going to march you down the field. And then let's see how you respond, right? Because one thing about the Eagles is they got the benefit of a Rams. I want to remind people this. They beat the Rams, but the Rams almost caught up to them in the divisional round. They played an inexperienced Commanders team that they absolutely whooped from jump. Didn't have an issue with the Chiefs. The Cowboys were somewhat fortunate because of the Jalen Carter situation, but it's been a while since someone has actually punched the Eagles in the mouth. So you can say similar things about the champ, whoever the champ is. So doing it on the road for the Eagles will be fascinating because, yeah, I can't disagree that they have the better roster, but the Chiefs should be the more motivated team.
That's why I'm really intrigued in this game, just because I want to see if the Chiefs still got fight left.
Yep.
For the last 3 years, the Chiefs have just been on top of the world. You have been the best team in the NFL. Your best player is dating the Super. Like, everything has gone the Chiefs' way up until they played the Eagles. And now you and I both know how this league is. You spend a lot of time around football players. Like, I think what Gronk said is a common theme in the National Football League. I think that other teams feel that way about the Chiefs. The only way to prove them wrong in this scenario is fight back, push back. The team that dominated you in the Super Bowl is coming into your house and has a chance to send you to 0-2. Now, I don't think the 0-2 panic is going to be anything that Kansas City is going to be overly worried about because they got the confidence in the roster to do it. But, I mean, there is a clear number of, hey, only 16% of teams that start 0-2 make the playoffs. Like, it is not good for you if you start 0-2. I want to see the Chiefs fight. I want to see if they still got that dog in them.
Carrington, he had, and I wrote this, and I think this will be on ESPN.com tomorrow, but Carrington, this man woke up in the second half, and to your point, said, I'll do it myself because Patrick clearly had to fight. Okay, I got the first down. I'm going to make a point. I'm going to run this dude over. Hey, we're in the red zone. You know what? Hey, not going to hand the ball off on the RPO. You know what? Not even going to throw it to Hollywood. I'll just run around Khalil Mack myself, their best defender. I'll just run right around him. I mean, in terms of leadership, they still have it. I think Chris Jones has been itching for this game. Not only because of what happened in the Super Bowl, but because of his own mistake in Sao Paulo in the fourth quarter. Travis Kelce, let's see it for a full game now. I thought he did pretty well in the second half, all things considered, based on what you're asking him at this, year 13 stage of his career. But hey, can you be locked in from the jump, from snap one? Can you not make a mistake that could be detrimental to the offense? These are your leaders. You can go down Nick Bolton, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Trent McDuffie. We could name all the guys, but I don't want to hear it. It was sort of condemning that Andy Reid was like, "Well, it's my job. I didn't get the guys right. We didn't have enough energy." Coach, it's the first game of the season. You don't gotta say bleep. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that was kind of my mindset in Sao Paulo. I was like, but coach, this is not week 7. That's when you need a coach. This is the first game of the season.
Against a team that everybody thinks can challenge you for the division. I was just thinking of this analogy, and I think you've seen The Wire before. It kind of reminds me. It reminds me of like Stringer thought that you could do the game a certain way. And Avon was just like, no, that's not how this works.
My quarters.
That's not how it works. Like, football, at some point, like, you come to this like intersection, like you just mentioned with Patrick Mahomes. At some point, you just got to prove that you are more physical than the other team.
Yes.
Like, I thought it was pretty clear. Pat could have easily have run out of bounds.
Oh, easily.
He made it a point to try to, I'm going to blow this guy up on the Chargers. Maybe I get a penalty. Who knows what happens? But I got to set the tone for everybody else. Philadelphia, they want to come in and be the bullies with Jalen Carter in the defense. And if there is any team in the league that feels like they can push Kansas City around, it's that team.
It's that team.
It ain't Denver. It ain't Vegas. It's not Buffalo. It's not the Ravens. If there is a team that feels like we can dominate this team and be more physical than them, it's Philadelphia. You got to prove it. All of the conversation around Kansas City ends if they win this game. But if they lose this game, a lot of the conversation about, hey, are the Bills, is it over for the Chiefs? That rumbling is already starting. It will be very, very loud if they lose this game.
Right. And especially if they lose this game where it's, it might be close on the scoreboard, but the Eagles are always in control. I think that would be really tough to overcome. It's like, hey, if the Eagles come and catch you after you had let's say the Chiefs have a great first quarter because their hair's on fire, they're fully invested, coaching staff's got it going with the game plan. Obviously, Pat Mahomes, Chris Jones, everybody's executing, right? But hey, like we just said, the Eagles got a really good roster. And who knows, maybe they make some halftime adjustments. If they chase you down, like we saw the Chiefs do so many times over the past 2 years, hey, I get it, right? They're the champs. You can kind of live with that. But if it's from like, hey, here's our best punch and, okay, after the end of the first quarter, it's 10-3 Eagles. You're like, okay, we got any trick plays? We got any weird formations? Got anything, Spags? Got anything? Like, if it's from start to finish, I think that will be that would be hard to overcome. Not just the doubt and the speculation and the condemnation from everybody from a national perspective, but how do you move forward in that locker room when you've been working to say that you want an opportunity to get back to that game? If you get back to that game, guess who you might see in Santa Clara?
Philadelphia.
Right. You either go see Philadelphia or Green Bay based on what we done seen.
For sure.
So this is a measuring stick. They understand it. Chris Jones said he wants payback. I'm like, man, when's the last time he said that in front of cameras with so much conviction? So they're doing everything they can to be up for this game. But yeah, you got to prove it. You got to prove it for 4 quarters. So I love the idea that this is a good lesson for them being the Chiefs based on what happened in Sao Paulo. Because they easily could have beat the Chargers. We all know this. Like, they're still the better team. Hey, you know what the Chargers did? Didn't make any mistakes. You know what the Chargers did? Celebrated like they won the Super Bowl in Brazil. If the Eagles beat you, they will not be celebrating. They'll just be like, yeah, this is what we do because we already proved this. The Chiefs need to get back to, showing some of that flair, some of that style. I would be asking for, like, some cool stuff while you also try to dominate the other opponent.
We'll get you out of here with this. We're up against it. Give me your Chiefs win-if scenario. Give me your Eagles win-if scenario as we head into week 2.
Chiefs win if they get 2 turnovers. And you know what? That's asking a lot. Eagles win if, welcome to the NFL, Josh Simmons. Welcome. Like, that was cool. But now I have, an actual game of tape to see you. And, I'm really good. Or if, the biggest mismatch on paper, Carrington, is Jalen Carter versus Kingsley Suamataia. So everyone say a prayer to this man. And it's not really Kingsley's fault. It's because Jalen Carter's that good. So,
do you think he should have been suspended for this game?
Do we really care about players spitting on one another, or are we're just making appearances as if we care? Because
I care about it. I
care about it too.
Yeah, I care about. I just feel like he had the penalty. If you're telling me he didn't play a single snap in the first game, and they also took a game check away, I don't know what more penalty I thought the NFL was going to give Jalen Carter. Now, I do think they set a very interesting precedent.
That's the problem.
Let's say that this happens in the 3rd quarter of an NFL game. How do you handle this?
Right.
Are you going to do like college football and you suspend them for a half of the next game?
No, that's ridiculous.
That's where I think people have a serious question with how they handled it this time.
So if you're going to suspend him, suspend him. Is kind of where I lie. It's not about facing the Chiefs. If they would have played the Patriots in week 2, I don't care. Like, if you think spitting on an opponent in that kind of way, whether it's retaliatory or not, that is. And, thankfully, there were no fisticuffs, but he probably should have got suspended. Would be my guess if we care.
You said thankfully it wasn't no fisticuffs. I actually, you know what? I knew the Cowboys had lost when they wasn't willing to fight for their quarterback. I'm telling you right now,
Trey Smith's murdering somebody in the football manner, ladies and gentlemen.
If an Eagles player walks up and spits on Patrick Mahomes, and then Creed Humphrey doesn't swing on that player, they aren't the team that I think they are.
Right. Now, you can say, should Tart have been ejected from the game? Of course. Like, that was a wind-up. But it was open-handed versus closed fist. Who cares?
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense. You should 100% be suspended. That's what I was thinking when I heard the news. I'm like, so wait, you're telling me Jalen Carter just should have walked up and smacked Dak Prescott and he could have kept playing? Yeah, he could have kept playing. It doesn't make any sense. That is Nate Taylor of ESPN joining us on the show. We're off a little bit early today because of the Royals. We only got one more week in which they are going to preempt the show. Rob, I appreciate you. We'll catch you guys on Monday. Until then, we'll let Daniel Craig take you home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Get your home ready for the change in seasons with a $69 HVAC tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Our pros can help you lower energy costs, prevent costly breakdowns, and make sure your system is running at peak efficiency right when you need it most. And it's all backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Hi, I'm Lacey, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. And yes, I'm actually a jeweler. I bring